Alright, hi everyone, I'm RefinedHornet. I'll be doing the Sekiro Just Die Twice Randomizer, enemy and item randomizer. We normally have a script in LiveSplit that automatically starts a timer upon loading into the game, but just for the sake of convenience, we'll start the timer on me hitting new game. Right, so 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so first thing I should explain is the settings. These settings are the ones used for the race mode seed used in the Sekiro speedrunning Discord's monthly races. For the enemy randomizer, the regular enemies are randomized amongst each other, mini bosses are randomized amongst each other, and bosses are randomized amongst each other. And the race mode settings try to mitigate like the early game being really annoying to deal with. So they're like the early robots are not too difficult or annoying, and it tries to keep the late game bosses to the late game. And there's also enemy scaling, so if a enemy is from the late game and goes to the early game, it will be scaled down, vice versa.
Loyal, I see it is used.
Just getting through this tutorial section. This healing gourd, which is like the Estus flask from Dark Souls. Just gonna run through here. There's an upcoming mini boss that we don't have to defeat because it'll disappear forever after we get through this tutorial section. So just skip him. And for the item randomizer, key items, memories, prayer beads, gourd seeds, and skills and prosthetics are all randomized within their own pool in important locations. So the vanilla locations for those items, and also mini bosses that don't normally drop those items, and the dried and fresh Cyprian Viscera are 2 additional checks. So we're just we don't need to fight this boss, so we just let him kill us, because the outcome is the same. We'll just get our arm chopped off. Oh, there's a memory. So memories increase our attack power, so we'll want to use that. And we got a prosthetic tool, or prosthetic, so we can grapple. And this is there is a setting that can put the shinobi prosthetic in Harada state, which is like access to placing a bell in like a air statue in the dilapidated temple, but that's not on. That setting's not on. You can get like 5 items from Harada without the shinobi prosthetic. I am picking up like these random items on the ground just for money, or maybe they have a useful like a sugar which has effects on stats. And this should be an important item. So this is a lore text. So what does it say? It says that there's a prize tally board in the Ashina Reservoir. That's not an important item. The tally board just upgrades the shops to give better items. So with this mini boss, it's probably good to talk about the Combat of Sakura. So on the top of the screen, you'll notice that there's 2 orbs and a red and yellow bar. So the orbs are death blow markers, which every boss, most bosses will have two. Most bosses, mini bosses and bosses will have two death blow markers, and you have to drain all of the markers in order to defeat the boss or mini boss. Some will have, a few will have one, and late game bosses will generally have three. I'm gonna talk to a shop. He has an important item. Yep, the Lotus is an important item. So there are absolutely seven required items to finish the game to get the Immortal Severance ending. There's the Lotus of the Palace, the Mortal Blade, the Shelter Stone, the Aromatic Branch, and the Mibu Breathing Technique, the Divine Dragon's Tears, and the Secret Passage Key. Now, I am skipping out on that Lotus, but that's because the same important item is sold by another vendor, so I can get it when I have money. That's a long arms and and I didn't really. So the red bar on the top left is the health bar, and the bar on the top is the posture meter. And there are two ways to do a death blow. You drain the health or posture. So it doesn't matter which. Like that. And to inflict posture, you either damage the enemy or deflect their attacks. Like I was doing there. Right, so we got another hint. Range weapon, and that is on. The shurikens are on the Genitro fight. Whatever's that Genitro. I'm gonna see what the boss is. It's a Ashina Elite. This has to I want to be in stealth. Another way to actually deal a death blow is by attacking the enemy in stealth. For bosses, or mini bosses specifically, you'll deal one death blow. Let's get rid of some of these enemies. Try to these are troubling enemies. So probably try to defeat the boss before they get me. Oh, this no. Oh, so when you die in Sekiro, there is a resurrection mechanic where you can, on the bottom left. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, there's a resurrection mechanic. You can have one. You'll see these nodes on the bottom left, and you get one free one from resting at an idol, and another from filling up by defeating enemies and mini bosses. Probably leave that mini boss for now. It's not required to defeat him. So this says that nothing's at Vine Realm, which is a late game area. so I'll know to just immediately head for the boss of that area. I'm gonna take this roundabout way because there are additional hints here. And there's show another thing that the randomizer does that's not in vanilla. So I'm just gonna. There's another mini boss right there, the Headless. This race mode settings do not require the Headless to be defeated, and that's their vanilla. They'll be in their vanilla locations. So defeating a boss in past memory, which should be the Lady Butterfly fight. And there's that door right there. It's open there is normally closed in vanilla. So you have early access to the world pretty early on. You don't have to fight the Blazing Bull or Kyobu fights. Another hint. So mini bosses in Sunken Valley don't have anything, and the esoteric texts have skills that basically give you useful items or skills, and you need to spend skill points. And I did get a prosthetic tool earlier. They're basically like sub-weapons.
Yeah. What it seems okay.
As a
Well, that you know.
item for having at least one skill point.
The more activity.
Let's equip that. Firecrackers are pretty useful. They basically stun an enemy. They're very useful for certain bosses that don't like stun from just getting hit. And I'm gonna continue to Senpo just to sort of see what's there. Right. And you'll see in the firecrackers cost 2 spirit emblems, which you get by defeating enemies, or any bosses will give you 15, so definitely good if you need to get spirit emblems. Oh, another ogre. This should be the last one. Right, so I'm trying to spin around him because it's much easier than trying to fight deflect his attacks. And 10 hits will cause him to stagger. And with posture, the lower you or the enemy's health is, the slower posture will regenerate. So if there's fast posture regeneration, you want to try to drain the health first. What's that? And should mention that this is the following the glitchless rule set that's Sekiro speedrunning does. So no out of bounds tricks, no inbound skips that skip a required boss. So earlier there was I could have done a skip to get around an earlier boss, an early mini boss, but it's not allowed. Probably not. I would say that mini bosses can be much harder than in this compared to vanilla, but just because of the regular enemies that surround them. Like if there's some bad enemies on them, it's pretty annoying to deal with. Oh, sigh. Those blue squid guys, they're very bad because they inflict a status called enfeeblement, which basically lowers your max health to very, very low, and then then you can't resurrect while enfeebled also. So I'm just gonna open this door. There is a boss fight right there, but we can't access it now because we haven't defeated a different boss and don't figured out where the Mortal Blade is in Vanilla. So we need to do that before we can access this boss. So I'm just gonna go over here to the Simpo esoteric text location. It's pretty out of the way, but I like taking this route. It's a pair bead. Pair beads are just health upgrades. When you get 4 of them, you can turn them into a necklace. Increases your health and posture. It's alright. Probably best to just keep going the vanilla way. Head towards Gyobu. Gyobu location, rather. First we gotta get past the snake. Just snake. I could try to do do a wall kick off these icicles, but I'm not very good at it, so I'll just shimmy across. We'll see that snake later. And kill this enemy for a free item. Wasn't very. Could sell it for more. Title. Let's see. Some couple items down here. That's nice. Defying Confetti. Defying Confetti gives a flat HP damage boost to all enemies, and also stops the armor that some apparition. Yeah. So this is our first boss. This would be the boss that comes after this one. So. And you see how he's doing a thrust attack. That you can't actually guard that, you have to deflect it. Unless you have a skill called the Makiri counter. It's a sweep attack. You have to jump and kick him. And I don't have any. It's okay. So I'm gonna grab this idol because I'm gonna do a quest for the Tengu of Ashina. We'll be coming up here and killing one of these enemies. It doesn't matter which, but we'll kill this one. Then we'll head across the battlefield and we'll get that lotus that I skipped out on earlier. And get the reward from the quest. It's esoteric text. Select that, get that, and that.
Where are you?
Talk to Tengu.
Tell me. You shall. Which that is true. What? It's what? Very. What is?
That's vanilla, actually. And you may, if you were listening to, you can hear the dialogue. I was mashing for the first part, then sort of like skipping for the second half. That was actually a tech discovered recently, where if you have the subtitles turned off, you can actually progress when normally you'd have to go through the entire dialogue. It's kind of weird how just a simple setting will do that. Okay. On our way to the Blazing Bull location. That up. Kill this guy first. So, kill that. Bad so far. Oh, there's a place. Nope. Probably should be. Oh, it's Miss Noble. Hardest mini boss in the game. More prayer beads. At least I'm able to upgrade. First I'm gonna go over here to... There's a key item here. Another prayer bead, okay. And there's a shop here who has a important item. Check. So... may actually just take an intentional death. Oh, wait. Maybe they'll caring about me. I need to I'll just warp out. So a nice thing about taking a death with resurrection is that you can actually, some enemies will just walk away from your location and you can sort of get back into stealth. reach there for the. Go walk away. No? Okay. Probably check my skill books just to see. Got Descending Carp's good. Gives you increases posture damage upon for a few seconds after a deflection. What I'm looking for is Makiri Counter, which is the you basically dodge into a enemy's thrust attack and it deals a massive posture damage. It's really good. Definitely better than just deflecting it. I'm gonna head down here. There's a hint and a mini boss down here. Let's see. Alright, so no enemies. So when it says powerful enemy, it's saying boss or mini boss. That's what it's saying. So there's no acquired items on powerful enemies in the Senpo. Let's try to lower his health a little. So what I was doing there was dead angling, where the enemies don't block your attacks if they're done at an angle, like not facing directly at them. They just won't block. Oh, wow. Repair. It's okay. Go and fight Genichiro, the Genichiro location. So what's up there? Drunkard. Depending on the enemy layout, I may fight this guy. Now they. Yeah, let's do it. Shouldn't be too bad. There's a cricket. Dodge his grab. And another thing to know about deflecting is that you will never get your posture broken from deflecting. Like it'll stay at max for the entire time. Here beats. Much. And up to Churro, or to the Ashina Castle proper. There's several checks in here you can do. It's normally a gourd seed in here. That's pretty good. Messed up. That, no. Here's a fake door, fake wall, rather, which has another important item. Another memory, that's nice. Up. There's one more down here. Another memory, that's nice. I think we're pretty good on attack power, at least for the early game. I think by the time we finish with the run, it's about 10 memory or attack power, which is normally what I have. And there's a shop down here, normally sells a prosthetic tool. Just grab that if I ever find that. The mask fabrics, there are 3 pieces. If you get all 3 pieces, you can use skill points to upgrade your attack power, but it's unlikely I'll find all 3 because they can be anywhere. Alright, so let's go to Genichiro. I'm gonna do a skip called Dojo Skip. This is allowed in glitchless because it doesn't actually skip. There are no required bosses you have to fight to get here. Like if you wanted to skip, there is a Ashina Elite that you can skip by going through Shin's tower. Finding you. Hey, it kind of works because of the beginning, actually. And another use for the firecrackers is that it scares beasts, so dealing good posture damage. Pretty. Heads up. Now there is a second part to the Genichiro fight. It will be the third boss. And it's Guardian Ape. It's a pretty mid-game boss. I like the Gyobu's horse. It's scared of firecrackers, stuff like that. And there is a stun lock that I can do, like air. And alright, he's stunned. So just it's 5 attacks and then 2. After this like exaggerated flailing. Just keeps them in. Trying to aim for the head since that does give more posture damage. that should be it for the intro fight, right? There's no more death blows to deal. Now there's a second part of the Guardian Ape fight with his head cut off. And he can do a scream attack which deals terror, which will, if the terror is filled up, it will instantly kill you, so it's really bad. Very important to avoid it. It would be nice if I had the spear here, because you can deal massive posture damage with it, but it's no big deal. It's done. Go. There we go. Finish what it's done. And like we saw earlier, there was a hint saying that the shuriken was on your location, and talk to Kuro. We'll see sort of that dialogue skipping that I was talking about earlier. Really makes this dialogue fast.
It's an 8.
Is the
Now,
Turn in there. Should have done that before. Oh well. We got anything good? Devotion's pretty good. It increases the duration of sugars, which are basically
Lord
items that buff your stats by 50%, so leave Yashiri. Every sugar except Gachin is 30 seconds normally, but increases to 45, and Gachin is a minute, increases to 90 seconds. So.
Yeah. Sakura. Migrant.
Talk to Ishin.
Sekiro, what is
the div?
Let's quickly skip through this.
Sekiro, what is it you?
Where is?
Gonna teleport back to Kuro. And there's a hint up here and an important item. Here. Oh, that's really good. So the Mibu breathing technique basically allows you to dive underwater. Alright, so the Dragon's Tears are in late game mini boss, so there aren't too many of those. We know that there's nothing in the Divine Realm, so it should be in the Ashina after the Central Forces invade. Alright, so know that said that there's nothing on powerful enemies in Simpo. I do want to show this boss off because I like the way the randomizer handles it. So normally this is a boss consisting of 4 monkeys based on the 3 wise monkeys plus the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. There's a 4th one, do no evil. So it turns it into 4 mini bosses. And plus there's a lot of hits here. And wait. Oh. Please don't. Oh, that's was very weird when randomized. Go again. I don't think I mentioned it, but when you so when you normally die fully and you can't revive, you really try to separate you two and you don't come together again. That's right. So when you fully die, when you can't resurrect, you normally lose half the skill experience that goes toward your next skill point and half your money, but I got an unseen aid there, which basically nullifies that effect. It's like, normally it's 30% chance of happening, and it's worse as you get Dragon Rot, which is a mechanic from dying too much. Try to just kill this. Oh, this is... Please don't knock me off. This bowl is... Yeah. I wanna probably go. Just wanted to show it off how the randomizer makes the fight work, but don't need to fight it, so probably best not to if we can avoid it. So the Mibu breathing technique allows us to dive underwater. We can't do that without this technique. And Gunforge Shrine Key. That unlocks a new area that's inaccessible before. So wanna go to let's go to the Ashina Depths and I like to go here pretty early because you have to go to the Ashina Depths here anyways, because there's a at the end there's a part where it takes you you can be taken to the Divine Realm, which we need to go to finish the game. So probably best to do this now before going to do Gunfort. Let's fight this guy first. So the idea of Ashina Elites is that they have these two quick slashes. Just deflect them. Oh, probably should read that. So, mini boss in Harada 2 has a that should be either the Mazunaka check or Juzu check. However you pronounce it. One of the drunkards, actually. Take a leap to the Ashina Depths. useful. Though I have firecrackers, so like not so much. Guess it's idle. Do I have any gotcha? I do not. Boss, is it? Can't tell. Oh, it's a long arm centipede. Be fine to sneak up on. Oh, that would have been really bad if he had been able to recover. So we're gonna go through this little tunnel, do a series of wall kicks to get up this higher. Kind of these wall kicks are kind of weird. There we go. The statue is an important item. Disappear beat. Not much. Might have good speed. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see. Go through the hidden forest. The idea of this place is that the Mist Noble is summoning a bunch of specters. They'll go away once we defeat the Mist Noble location. Oh, what's this? Okay, so the mini boss has something, but boss doesn't have something in Rando 2. So at least we don't have to go all the way in. Another Headless down there, don't need to fight him. What's up? There's a mini boss up here. Let's see what it's like. Probably fight this. Yeah, it's good. No. Oh dang. Do I have? Let's use a pellet. Ooh. Did get the shuriken earlier. Probably should have went. Oh, here's the dragon rot. Who didn't need to teleport at all. Yeah, that basically decreases the chance of getting C8. So, I was sick. Oh, and for defeating Ganitro
That's right.
location, have this merchant who sells an important item but doesn't have anything. Let's go back to shurikens. Should be able to pick them, the range, the snipers off easily. Let's see. That guy's a lot tougher than I would expect. I know that the snipers at the beginning of the game have massive damage wonder if they have massive health. Not sure. Let's get on this tree. Alright, so I'm gonna try to do a dead angle as a stun lock. Oh, there we go. Go. Nice. Down to the blue village. Grab this. There's a merchant here, but he doesn't have any important items, so we'll ignore him. There is a important item down here. Water. This chest. Oh, the aromatic branch. That will allow us to get to the Divine Realm, which will allow us to basically go to the Pretty Lake game. Oh. Oh. Hopefully they'll should ignore me now. Let's upgrade our health. Get the Novi Eyes, increase the posture damage from the Curie counter. What I'm really looking for is do this. Really looking for is mid-air combat arts. Sounds exactly like. Oh. Yeah, that's Kami leader Shizu. Only has one. She's pretty weak. Basically, she's a hard to get to, but pretty easy once you get to her boss fight, as she basically pelts lightning balls at you. Trying to do this jump. Try. There we go. To get up here. Basically, she's basically a roadblock to keep you from going in the water in Fountainhead. Lady Butterfly 2. She summons illusions, which basically annoyance. So use snap seeds to get rid of them. And she can also be hit with shurikens. The shurikens will do more damage than normal if she's in the air while she's getting hit. Otherwise, we want to sort of do this like deflect back and forth motion. Yeah. Yeah, there are two phases to Lady Butterfly fights, but they're treated as separate bosses. That's why we only have to fight one death blow, one phase at a time. More memories. Right, but got that pop. Yeah, those pop-ups are for the Gauntlet of Strengths. which are basically boss rushes that were added in 1.05, and they're not really supported in the randomizer right now. Like, the rewards from them are still vanilla, and the bosses, there are 3 unique bosses that were added to the gauntlets that aren't in the randomizer. Can kind of see. Cool thing about the reflection of strength is that you can actually see what's ahead if you wanted to. Like, I could look at what the Ishin boss is right now, but we'll wait for that surprise us. Okay. Nothing really here. Sending. Okay. Not much from Hotch in the Depths. Let's go to Gunfort in Sunken Valley. This room.
Still so much dust.
Continue. Be fun. I'm enfeebled. It's a prayer bead over here. It's a little out of the way. A prayer bead. Getting a lot of prayer beads. Typically end up with about 5 necklaces by the end of a run. There's a gourd seed out over here. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's a wave. Like, if you fall in a pit, you don't instantly die like in Dark Souls. You lose about like 4/5 of your health, or 4/10 of your health. And it's not like an instant death thing. But if you do fall down a pit and you die, you lose all your health from it, then it's just instant death. There's no resurrection from that. Going to Fun Forts if you're playing vanilla, because there's snipers shooting you as you're trying to cross the bridge. It's pretty tame. This idol, because I'm gonna warp back to it later. Oh. Oh, it's Oren of the Water. This is pretty... I really find this boss kind of hard, so I generally play defensively against her. And You'll notice that I'm blocking, and that increases the posture regeneration. The posture does break. It's pretty easy. She'll usually do that grab attack, which is pretty easy to escape from. Or that, but like as long as it's like go. Ward seeds increase the number of uses of the gourd, healing gourd. So it's definitely nice to have, but I'll probably use them later. There's a prayer bead location there. Just use the warp back to the last idol so we can continue to the Valley of Monkeys. Side here. The snake from earlier will show back up, but we'll dive underwater just so we can completely avoid it. I have a few. Health again. Gonna go to so there's only one out of logic check with these settings. I'm heading to it right now. So after this big fall, nearly land. Let's see what you got. Some. Yeah, so this check in Randomizer requires either the Mist Raven prosthetic tool or Puppeteer ninjutsu. But it's pretty easy to just get around it without either of those. It's like using every speedrun that goes through here. Just jump through. Here's our check, and we were baited. Oh well. Now I'm gonna head to the Guardian Ape location. There's also a Lotus there's also Lotus that's also a check. Get to pass by a very big group of enemies. Let's just see how all of them. And there is an item on that, so if items were set to be anywhere, there's a possibility you would have to fight and defeat all those enemies. But you don't have to. So this is the Shura final boss mission. Flame mission. Call him. Should be on firecrackers for that. Yeah. just to stun him. Normally have the Mortal Blade to do that, but the Firecrackers work as well. What do we got? Temple key. So the hidden temple key is used to open the boss location in Harada, but we don't have access to Harada right now. So it's good to have right now, so we can do it all in one trip. Let's get Ascending Carp that increases the damage done from the posture damage done from the flex. And because we defeated the boss that's at Guardian Ape, we've unlocked the boss that's at Headless Ape. That's sort of why I sat at the Hidden Temple or Hidden Forest idol. See what we have. And really nice thing about this is that there's a lot of items that you get, like 4, 5, I think. It's appropriate that this is the Immortal Severance Ishin fight. Kind of works out. Dodge that. Probably could have firecracker that, but I'm very used to using Mortal Blade. Dodge that. Now to the third phase. This one's pretty easy because he'll start using lightning attacks, and you basically deflect them back and they'll deal massive health and posture. 2 in a row. Give me a third one. No? Okay. Bit late, but so normally you'd have to have the Mortal Blade to finish off certain bosses, but the randomizer fixes it so that you don't have to have the Mortal Blade physically, but you get sort of like a lightsaber kind of effect. Pretty cool. Shelter Stone, that's another key. So we have 2 keys of 3 to get to the Owl Invasion part of the game. Last part is the Mortal Blade. And because we defeated the Headless Ape boss, we can now face the Shishiman warrior that spawns. Normally you need to fit the slender finger whistle, but you don't need it. The randomizer just spawns with the oh, dang. Early. Your counter makes these spear guys pretty easy. Japan, Westside Tool. don't really use it a lot. Basically turns enemies around. You can see the use of. But since I have enough prosthetic tools that I can fit, I'm gonna go back to the sculptor and
What's this? What?
give them to him,
Ask.
and he'll give us an item
Listen.
for having fitted 3 tools on there. Put it on. Guess Ashina. Oh, puppeteer ninjutsu. So that essentially allows you to control an enemy by performing a stealth after performing a backstab death blow, which you have to do it from behind, which there's a way to do it in combat with a skill called vault over, which will basically flip over the enemy, making backstabs very easy. Actually want to grab this. The puppeteer ninjutsu actually is a unlocks a check over here in Senpo. Gonna head that to there's a kite somewhere over here. So there's a kite over somewhere, and then enemy will raise that kite so that you can basically grapple across to the snake that's in Sunken Valley. Just gonna head that way. So we'll take that kite and fill up this guy. Pull more back. Should be raised by when we get there. Street. Bigly bus. And I have to death blow the snake. There's some more blade. So now the Owl invasion has started. So there'll be some new bosses and mini bosses to fight here. Since we have the aromatic branch and Mibu breathing technique, basically sort of try to rush to the end part of the game, where the central forces are. We're just heading to the boss location, Owl. Great Shinobi Owl to be specific, because there's another owl fight that you can do. So this is the point in the game where you can decide to side with Owl or stick with Kuro. We're gonna stick with Kuro because that gives us that's towards the Immortal Severance ending. And get the monk, the true monk specifically. This is a late game boss. Actually, it'll be the vanilla location will be the where we go to next in Fountainhead. Alright, so he has this phase where you have to basically dodge these clones of her. I have a... I don't, okay. So I'm just gonna let the clones kill me so that she gets out first, faster. Just deflect these attacks. Dodge. No. Nope. There we go. Now, I'm gonna totally change her patterns after the centipede comes out. Definitely this phase you want to start dodging around rounds. Because she'll do that spit attack that inflicts terror. Also that slam also helps. It also helps avoid the slam. Go. So we're gonna rest at the sidle, and there's gonna be a lot of dialogue. Fortunately, we can skip some of it. I'll get more spirit elements, but it's fine.
Wolf. Did you meet
I didn't speak
the mice
as
for months? So
what is a flower?
First,
What?
Wolf, I'm
What
the,
you're about man?
yeah, how I ended it for now that the sword. Wolf, I thought
Us.
yeah.
What?
Tucked. Now.
Yes.
Have you
There is some.
That's the information on the
This
mortal
was-
blood. Or how to
Yeah.
get the blood of immortal.
yeah, but I'm the
I'm gonna go ahead and just
Is this
yeah, flap now the
such as?
just
as
increase
I-
my
Yeah.
healing cord. So it's pretty convenient to do it now.
goodbye.
Talked to Kuro one last time.
Wolf.
Earn the incense, and we should be able to go to Fountainhead.
My lord.
Wolf, fear not. Would you
Yeah.
forgive?
Yeah. How is the...
Ancient depths. Oops, I forgot to grab the idol, the wedding door, but it's okay. It's not that far to run. Swim. uses the max is 10. That's definitely what I usually get. Seeds. To fountain. Alright. The Hero's Bell Charm unlocks Harada, the Harada State area. Know that there's something in Harada too. Well, there should be. There's nothing in Fountainhead, so we can just beeline for Central Forces. This is the Headless Ape fight. The first phase is the same as Guardian Ape Phase 2. But when Phase 2 adds in the second ape. The brown one right there. Brown ape fights the same way as the Guardian Ape's first phase. Push them off. You don't actually need to kill the Brown ape. Just need to kill the headless one. They'll disappear on their own. Now to the Vine Dragon location. Know that nothing's in Fountainhead. And you do need Mibu breathing technique to actually reach the dragon. So I believe the only key item that we are missing are the Divine Dragon's Tears, which will get us to the actual end, and the Secret Passage Key, which will unlock the door to the final boss. It's probably... No, the Dragon's Tears are in the Ashana after Central Forces. So, probably the other one of the two are probably in Harada 1 or 2. Just need to find it. So, the first phase of the Divine Dragon fight has the old dragons, basically a bunch of regular enemies, but you have a bunch of randomized enemies, and it can get pretty annoying with certain combinations, so I'm just gonna... But this doesn't look too bad. grabber. These guys. And there are fortunately some bull dragons which, when you do an aerial death blow, will do that spinning attack, which basically kills any enemy that's within the range. This is why I hate the grabbers. Try to get a tree death blow. There we go. I think you need to defeat 15 enemies. Like normally it's just 15 white dragons, but you can't really tell which ones you need to defeat, so you just kill whatever you can. So, I know from the kickflip Owl did that this is Father Owl. Like, this was Great Shinobi Owl. He would throw shurikens during it. Also, he does these like sweep attacks also. Thing to keep in mind with Owl is that it's a bad idea to use a thrust attack while he's able to act, because you do just Sekiro countering it, just like you can. Stun. Now phase 2 of Father Owl will have him sort of disappear. That's pretty standard on the side. Let's see. Show island. Now we'll be teleported to Ashina Castle in the final stages of the game. I know something's on boss late game. Sure this. I only have access to one boss.
Lord
I have something. She doesn't. gonna head to the Demon of Hatred location. And there's a mini boss on the way there, so fight them as well. Is it Shishima? Divine Confetti. This is an apparition that has some resistance to normal attacks, but is nullified from Divine Confetti. Also, try the dead angle, because if he deflects an attack, he'll teleport and we don't want that. I'll head to Demon of Hatred Arena. That should be Great Shinobi L1. Which I've been looking for mid-air combat arts. It's odd. Haven't been using the Mortar Blade much, as normally, but it's pretty powerful, does a bunch of posture and health damage even if the opponent guards. But I really want it to, with the mid-air combat arts. For some reason, if it's done in the air, it'll have the power of the empowered wall draw, which requires a charge normally. Just finish him off. There we go. Oh. So we can go fight the final boss now, but we can't trigger the ending. So we're gonna go to Harada instead. Now there's something important there. Check here. The flame barrel aesthetic tool. Husky, if that's not accessible because the area is blocked off when central forces invade. Boss. Snake eyes. Even though we got the Bell Charm late in the game, the Harada 1 is considered like an early game location, because in vanilla you did it pretty early. You can access it pretty early. So the enemies here would be really weak, definitely compared to our attack power. Up here, let's check. Wall jumps are kind of finicky. Beat it again. To owl. As a key item. There we go. I want to grapple to that higher point first. Probably not gonna check that. Pretty far in the game, and I doubt that will help. Help these. I'm gonna use the Gachin sugar. Basically increases stealth while it's active. Say general. Shh. Yeah. Yeah. Blue here to help this guy. Now all that's left are a chest with a fake wall and the boss. Okay. Hopefully the boss has something. Oh, probably want the Father's spell charm. That'll allow us to access Harada 2 after defeating the boss.
Lady Butterfly. Why?
Why indeed? You'll die.
Gotcha. Just like Genichiro, this is a two-phase fight where there's two different bosses. Let's see. It's Genichiro. Go. Oh, there we go. Just what we wanted. Gonna go right back into Rada. It'll be more difficult this time. The enemies will be more difficult this time. Hopefully should find the Divine Dragon's Tears. Some boss.
Oh? They're supposed to be dead. Yet, you still live. It doesn't matter. I'll kill you now and all will be so.
There we go. Alright, final boss time. right back to the beginning. First went to do some last minute raids. Oh, there we go. Did their combat arts. Now the moral jaws should be really powerful. We have Yashiriku and Aku. Akko Sugar increases the attack power by 12.5%, and Yashiriku increases it by 25%, but also there's a 50% health penalty. So, since the Divine Dragon is the first part of the fight, just gonna use the casual strats, like not try to attack directly. I want to save my spirit emblems for later parts, especially if I'm pretty sure I know what the final boss is. And the only change to Divine Dragon is that when the attack it's doing now won't actually affect you. To finish this. Now it's on the sort of final part. Let's let it this is very much an auto-scroller. Just let it do its thing. Anything about... Oh, almost fell off. Only thing about is that you can't get onto the sword for some reason. You have to sort of figure out... Oh. Oh, this is not what I was expecting actually. Thought it would have been the end of hatred. Sort of works with the lightning everywhere. It's like a Sword Saint, he can shoot lightning. There we go.
Well done. Farewell.
Right. Just wait for talk to Kuro, and time will come up when the Sekiro logo appears in the credits. Time. If you want to check out the randomizer, you can find it on nexusmods.com. You can just search Sekiro randomizer and should be the first result. Or if you want a specific link, it's nexusmods.com/Sekiro/mod/543. They'll take you directly to the randomizer page, how to set it up. And there are monthly races that in the Sekiro speedrunning Discord, and it can be found on speedrun.com/Sekiro. That's about it I want to talk about. Thanks for having me.